Hello everybody. Sorry I couldn't be here today. I wanted to give you some detailed information on the final project which you are starting today. Counting today, you have 4 class periods to work on this. This is a 5-part project. I'm going to give you directions for the first 3 today. As I mentioned before, if you look over here, here's Bloom's taxonomy. I had mentioned this information last class period. Our questions, steps 1 through 5, dealt with knowledge to analysis, and your final project is going to fall within the realm of synthesis and evaluation. So if the questions seem a little more difficult, that's because they're a higher level thinking. So with that, let's begin. Click on Final Project on today's agenda, and you'll see the slides we had before. All the steps, all the questions. And now, we have some directions for actual projects. The first one I'm going to go over is the magazine cover. So if you go to the next slide today, you'll see that you will create a magazine cover using Big Huge Labs, and I'll go over that in just a second. What this is going to revolve around, if you go back to steps 3 and 4, so if I go back in my slides, the questions on step 3 and step 4 are going to help you with this part of the project. So what you're going to do is you're going to create a magazine cover, and so let me click on this now, and I'll be jumping back and forth between the tabs. First of all, you're looking for a picture that would represent your magazine and you. Now if you chose your person to be someone who was famous, you could use them on your magazine cover. You don't have to. Alright, so the choice of the picture is up to you. And so I've got a picture already. If I had to choose one person to spend an hour with, it would be the Dalai Lama. Oops, there it is. And so I already have a picture that I've saved on my desktop. And you can see here that it's now uploaded. Now you don't see it over here yet. Not until we take a look on the Create button will you see it. But you can choose different magazine styles. Perhaps you want something a little more festive. The rest are pretty simple. You can change the fonts. Your magazine title at least has your name in it. So I'll just put my name. I'll use the one I used earlier. Cameron Cross and the Dalai Lama. Tagline, don't worry about it. Publication date, don't worry about it. Price, don't worry about it. When you start getting to the lines 1, and you have lines 1 through 15, actually 17 on this one, you can see where the lines will go. Now here's what you're doing with those lines. You're going to pretend this magazine is all about the answers that you gave for steps 3 and 4. So if you had to write a story for each of those answers, every story has a title to it. So on the lines, on your magazine cover, you're going to create at least 6 headlines for your cover. So what would your articles say about your answers? Alright? So when you look at the magazines in the grocery store, you see People and all those other ones, and they give these quick little quips on the covers. That's what you're doing. Now those headlines are inspired by your answers, and in those headlines you need to utilize at least 6 of the terms from step 1. So we'll go back to step 1. You know, the first 3 habits in order. You have be proactive, begin with the end in mind, first things first. You have paradigm, proactive, the 4 human tools, which are found on page 66 of the book. So you need to utilize these terms in your headlines. Now as you do this, what I'm looking for, I'm not so much interested what you have in your answers. I will eventually go look at those. But for this assignment, the magazine cover, I'm interested in knowing that you understand what those terms mean. So I go to my magazine cover. Let me give you an example. Let's see if it still has... if I had to create a headline for one of my articles, my proactive life. My decisions are my choice. Alright, so let's say that was one of them. So what I learned from the Dalai Lama in answering those questions, I could write a whole article about this, and I've used the word proactive. Alright, and I've demonstrated that I have some understanding of what that word means. So if you remember, being proactive means taking control of your life. Whatever decision you make, it is your choice to make that decision. So with that headline, that's what I've done. That's what you're going to do for this magazine cover. You're going to do at least 6 headlines, and I would recommend that you not do them just right next to each other. You'll see line 1, and maybe you skip down to line 5, line 9. Give yourself some space, and as you do this, you'll see how it comes up. So, for example, let's say you have done an image, and you have some headlines in there. Scroll all the way to the bottom, click on the Create button, and it takes it a moment here. So here it is. It's created my magazine cover. Here's my title at the top. Alright, and you can see that it's taken my one line so far and put it in there. So my one headline. Okay, I like the way the picture shows up, and so on. It's okay. And I have more to add to it. So to add to it, you click on the Edit button. It'll take you back. Alright. But let's say you have it all done. What you're going to do is you're going to end up putting this into your website. Alright, so I'm going to save. And I'm going to save the file. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to insert it into my website. So if I go back to my website here, you'll see under that 2011 final project page we created last class, I've added the first 3 projects and magazine cover. These are all just regular web pages, and I would edit the page, insert image, and as you go browse for it. Now mine's going to be somewhere in my downloads. So if I have to look for mine. Yours is easier. So give it a moment here. Whoops, too fast, too far. Yeah, this may not work with this example, but you're basically inserting the image just like you would anything else. So your magazine cover is going to go into this spot right here. And then once you're done, you'll hit save, and you'll have a magazine cover there. I don't, but you will. So that's the first project right there. And you'll see on this slide I tell you where to put the page, what to call it, what kind of page it is. Alright, so that's magazine cover.